I swear to God, if I hadn't pulled back those curtains that night, I probably wouldn't be alive to tell this story. This happened in 2018. At the time, I was living alone in a rental house just outside Denver, in a quiet suburban neighborhood. Across the street from my house was an old place that looked abandoned. The strange thing was, I never saw anyone go in or out, but every night, the upstairs window had a light on. At first, I ignored it. Then one night, at exactly 2:13 a.m., I woke up to the sound of tapping. Tap, tap, tap. I sat up in bed. The room was completely dark. Then the sound stopped. I told myself it was probably a tree branch hitting the window. I laid back down. Then, tap, tap. This time I knew it was coming from my bedroom window. My heart started pounding. I slowly got out of bed, pulled the curtain back just enough to look outside. And what I saw still makes my hands go cold. Across the street, in the upstairs window of that abandoned house, someone was standing there. A man, perfectly still, staring directly at my window. I froze. His face was hidden in shadow, but I could make out what looked like two pale eyes. I slammed the curtain shut. The next morning, I convinced myself maybe I imagined it. Maybe I was half asleep. Maybe I was losing my mind. But when I stepped outside, there were muddy boot prints beneath my bedroom window. Someone had been standing outside my house, watching me. I told my landlord. He laughed. Then he said something that made my stomach drop. That house has been empty for 9 years. That night, I locked every door, checked them 3 times. I even kept a kitchen knife beside my bed. Around 1:40 a.m., I heard something downstairs. A slow creaking, like someone walking across old wooden floors. Creak, creak. I grabbed my phone. I was about to call 911 when I heard a man whisper from downstairs, "I know you're awake." Every muscle in my body locked up. I didn't breathe, didn't move. Then, slowly, footsteps came up the stairs, one step at a time, closer, closer, until they stopped, right outside my bedroom door. Someone was standing there. Then I heard something slide across the floor. A piece of paper pushed under my door. The footsteps moved away. I waited several minutes before I moved. My hands were shaking as I picked up the note. There was only one sentence written on it. "Tonight, I only watched you. Tomorrow I come inside." I was about to call the police when I heard something behind me. From inside my closet, a slow scratching sound. Scratch, scratch. And that's when I realized. I never checked the closet. I stopped breathing. That scratching, it was coming from inside the closet. Slow, deliberate, like fingernails dragging across wood. Scratch, scratch. I stared at the closet door, frozen. Every instinct told me to run. But run where? There was someone who had just been outside my bedroom door. And now something was inside the closet. I was trapped. Then the scratching stopped. Complete silence. The kind of silence that feels alive. I backed toward the window, gripping the kitchen knife so hard my hand hurt. And then, the closet doorknob moved. Just slightly. A tiny turn. Then another. I almost screamed. The knob twisted all the way, and the closet door slowly creaked open by itself. But there was nobody there. Just darkness. Rows of hanging clothes. Nothing moving. Nothing breathing. I stood there in shock. Then my phone buzzed in my hand, so suddenly I nearly dropped it. Unknown number. I answered without thinking. There was static. Then a man's voice. Very calm. Very close. "Don't look behind you." My blood turned to ice. I spun around, and my bedroom door was open. I knew I locked it. I know I locked it. And standing in the doorway was the man from across the street. Same long hair. Same beard. Same dead stare. Holding a hammer. He smiled, then charged at me. I threw the knife without thinking. Missed. It clattered off the wall. I dove past him, slammed into the hallway, and ran downstairs barefoot. He was right behind me. I could hear him laughing. Actually laughing. I hit the front door. Deadbolt. Chain. Locks. My hands shook so badly I couldn't get them open. Then I heard him behind me whisper, "You should have stayed in bed." I turned and swung a lamp into his face. It shattered. He stumbled. Enough time. I ripped the door open and ran into the street screaming. Lights came on in neighboring houses. Porch lights. Dogs barking. And suddenly, the man stopped chasing me. He just stood in my front yard, watching, smiling, then turned and calmly walked back across the street into the abandoned house. Police arrived 6 minutes later. I told them everything. They searched my house. Nothing. They searched the abandoned house. Nothing. No man. No signs anyone had been living there. But upstairs, in the window where I first saw him, they found a wooden chair facing my bedroom window, and on the floor beside it, a stack of photographs. Pictures of me, sleeping, changing clothes, watching TV, photos taken through my windows, some dated months before I even moved in. And then an officer found something else. A photograph taken inside my bedroom. While I was asleep, standing at the foot of my bed, was a shadow of a man, holding a hammer, and written on the back, "He looked at me first." The police told me to stay somewhere else that night. I never went back. I moved out the next day, but 3 weeks later, my new apartment received a plain white envelope. No return address. Inside, one photo, taken through my new apartment window. Me, unpacking boxes. And on the back, "You forgot to check the closet." After that envelope, I stopped sleeping. I shoved furniture against doors, covered every window, checked closets, checked under the bed, checked the shower curtain. Every night, sometimes twice. I told myself whoever sent the photo was just trying to scare me. A sick prank. A stalker losing control. That's what I wanted to believe. But deep down, I knew he had found me. 2 weeks passed. Nothing happened. And slowly, I started thinking maybe it was over. Then one night, around 3:07 a.m., I woke up because I heard something in the apartment. Not footsteps. Breathing. Someone breathing. Slow. Wet. Close. I sat upright in bed. The room was dark. Then I heard it again. Right beside me. I reached for my phone flashlight and turned it on. Nothing. Empty room. But the closet door was open. I knew I shut it before bed. I was staring at it when my phone vibrated. Unknown number. A text. Just 3 words. "Look under bed." My body went numb. I couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. Then, a voice under the bed whispered, "Too late." Something grabbed my ankle. I screamed and kicked free, falling backward off the mattress. I ran for the bedroom door. Locked. Wouldn't open. Then I heard movement behind me. Fast crawling. Like a person moving on all fours. I turned, and he was there, crawling out from under the bed, smiling, hammer in his hand. I don't remember how I survived the next few seconds. Pure animal panic took over. I grabbed a bedside lamp and brought it down on his head. Once, twice, 3 times. He collapsed. I unlocked the door and ran into the hallway screaming. Neighbors called police. This time, they caught him. Or at least, they caught someone. A man matching the description. Long hair, beard, late 30s. But during questioning, he kept insisting he had never been inside my apartment. Never touched me. Never mailed photos. He only repeated one thing over and over. He lives in the walls. Police thought he was insane. Then, during the investigation, they discovered something worse. There were hidden maintenance crawl spaces, running behind the walls of my apartment building. Narrow spaces wide enough for a man to move through. And inside the wall behind my bedroom, they found food wrappers, water bottles, used batteries, and dozens of photographs of me sleeping. The police believed he had been living inside the walls for weeks, maybe longer. I moved again. Different city, different state. Changed my number. Changed everything. That was 3 years ago. I've tried to forget. Tried to move on. But last month, I was repainting my current bedroom. And when I pulled an old vent cover from the wall, a folded note fell out. Yellow with age. Like it had been hidden there a long time. My hands shook opening it. There was only one sentence, written in the same handwriting as the first note. I was never the man across the street. And beneath it, a second line. I was the thing in your closet. I sold the house the next week. But there's one part one never told police. The night I found that note, before I left forever, I heard scratching, coming from inside the wall. Scratch, scratch. And then, very softly, my own voice whispered back from inside the wall, "Don't look behind you." I bought the house because it was cheap. That should have been my first warning. It sat outside Asheville, surrounded by woods, with no neighbors close enough to hear you scream. The realtor said the previous owner died of a stroke. Natural causes. Nothing suspicious. The house looked normal. Old, but normal. But there was one thing I didn't like from the first day. The crawlspace access. It was a small wooden hatch in the kitchen floor. A square door with a rusted iron ring. The kind you pull up to access pipes under the house. The inspector opened it once. Shined a flashlight inside. Dirt. Stone foundation. Tight dark space. Then shut it. That should have been the last time. But the first night I slept there, Around 2:41 a.m., I woke up because I heard knocking. Not at the front door. Under the floor. 3 knocks. Knock. 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 I sat straight up. Waited. Silence. Then again. Knock. 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 Directly beneath my bedroom. I told myself pipes. Old houses settle. Normal sounds. But by morning, mud was smeared around the crawlspace hatch, like dirty fingers had pushed from underneath. I convinced myself maybe I caused it moving in. That lie lasted 2 days. On the 3rd night, I heard crawling. Something dragging under the floorboards. Slow movement. Following me. If I walked to the bathroom, it moved below me. If I stopped, it stopped. I called a pest company. Thought maybe raccoons. The guy went under the house. He came back pale. I asked what he found. He said, "No animals." Then he hesitated. "There's a chair down there." A chair. In a dirt crawl space. Facing upward. Toward the floorboards under your bed. I laughed because I thought he was joking. He wasn't laughing. He packed up and left. Wouldn't go back under. That night, I nailed the hatch shut. At 1:13 a.m., I woke to a sound in the kitchen. Metal scraping. I grabbed a bat and walked out. Moonlight hit the floor, and I saw it. The crawlspace hatch was open, nails bent upward, like something pushed out from below. And beside the opening, there were fresh footprints, bare human footprints, covered in mud, leading toward my bedroom, not away from it, toward it. I turned slowly toward the dark hallway and heard breathing, very close, coming from behind the bedroom door. I froze. That breathing, it was coming from inside my bedroom. Slow, uneven, like someone trying not to be heard. I was standing in the hallway holding a baseball bat and suddenly realized whatever came out of that crawl space was now in my room. My room, where I had been sleeping minutes earlier. I backed toward the front door. Every instinct screamed run. But my car keys were in the bedroom. My phone too. And outside, miles of woods. No neighbors. No help. Then, the breathing stopped. Complete silence. And from inside the bedroom, a man's voice whispered, "You moved my chair." My knees nearly gave out. I didn't answer. Didn't breathe. Then, the bedroom door began to open. Slowly. Creak. A thin strip of darkness widened. And I saw a hand. Mud-covered fingers curling around the doorframe. Then a face leaned out. A man. Bald. Sunken eyes. Skin gray like he'd never seen daylight. And he smiled. Not normal. Too wide. Like he'd practiced smiling by watching other people. I swung the bat at him. He ducked back. I ran. Bolted through the front door barefoot into the yard. I didn't stop until I reached my truck. Drove straight to a gas station 10 miles away and called police. When deputies searched the house at sunrise, they found no man. No footprints. No sign of forced entry. But under the house, they found the chair. Exactly where the pest guy described. Facing up toward the floor beneath my bed. And beside it, a tunnel. Not part of the house. Hand dug. Leading deeper underground beyond the foundation. One deputy crawled partway in, then backed out fast. He looked sick. He said there were canned food stacks inside, blankets, and Polaroid photos. Photos of me sleeping. Photos taken before I even bought the house. I told police I was done. I wanted out. But one older deputy pulled me aside before I left. He asked, "When you saw him, did he have dirt under his fingernails?" I said yes. His face changed. Then he told me 20 years earlier, a man vanished from that property, the owner's brother. They believed he went insane and hid under the house for months before disappearing. Never found. I laughed. Because what else do you do when reality sounds impossible? Then the deputy said something I still hear in my head. We never said he disappeared alone. I checked into a motel that night. My motel room phone rang. I answered half asleep. Only static. Then a whisper. Very soft. Very familiar. "You left the hatch open." After that motel phone call, I didn't sleep. I left every light on, wedged a chair under the door, and kept hearing that voice in my head. "You left the hatch open." By morning, I decided I was done. I was going back to the house with police, grabbing my things, and leaving forever. 2 deputies met me there around noon. Daylight made everything feel stupid, almost embarrassing, like maybe fear had made me hallucinate, until we walked into the kitchen. The crawlspace hatch was closed, but I had left it open when we fled the night before. One deputy looked at me. "You close it." I shook my head. He lifted the hatch. Darkness. Then, a voice rose from below. Not loud, not human sounding, Just one sentence. He brought them back. Both deputies jerked backward. One immediately drew his weapon. The older deputy crawled halfway down with a flashlight. Then he screamed. Not shouted. Screamed. He scrambled backward so fast he hit the kitchen table. I had never seen that kind of fear in a grown man. He kept saying, "There's more than one." Police sealed the crawl space. State police came. They dug. What they found never made the news. But one officer told me off record. There were tunnels, a network, stretching beyond my property, connecting under old neighboring foundations from houses long torn down, and signs people had been living there for years, maybe decades. I sold the house for a loss and moved to Nashville. Different life, different house, no crawl space, no old floors, no woods. For 6 months, nothing happened. Then one winter night, I woke to a sound, knocking, under the floor. 3 knocks. Knock, knock, knock. I stopped breathing. Concrete slab house. There was no space under the floor. Nowhere for knocking to come from. I tore through the house. Found nothing. Told myself stress. Trauma. But a week later, my dog disappeared. No broken fence. No open gate. Gone. Then I found mud on the kitchen floor. Bare footprints. Leading to the laundry room. And stopping at the wall. Stopping. Like whoever made them. Walked into the wall. I called a contractor. Made him cut open the drywall. Inside, a cavity between studs. And hidden there, a wooden chair. Facing outward. Toward where my bed sat in the next room. Taped under the seat. A Polaroid. Me sleeping. Taken 2 nights earlier. On the back. We moved with you. I burned the photo. Left that house the same day. I live in apartments now. Top floors only. No basements. No crawl spaces. No vents. But 3 months ago, I got something in the mail. No return address. Just a small box. Inside, 3 rusty bent nails. The same kind I hammered into the hatch. And a folded note. I opened it. Read 6 words. And threw up. Stop checking under. Start checking above. I looked up. There was an attic access in my ceiling. I had never opened it. That night, at 2:41 a.m., I heard footsteps over my head. Slow, dragging, and then a chair scraping across wood. The motel shouldn't have even been open. That was the first thing I thought when I pulled off the highway outside Amarillo. The sign only had half its neon working. Back in CY, the A was dead. Rain hammered the windshield. My phone had no signal, and I'd been driving for 7 hours. I just needed one night. The old man at the front desk looked irritated I existed. He slid me a brass key. Not a key card. A real key. Stamped. 9. He said one thing before I walked away. Don't open if someone knocks after 2. I laughed. Thought he was making a bad joke. He didn't smile. Room 9 was at the very end. Last door. No rooms beyond it. Only darkness. Inside. Old carpet. Stained walls. A buzzing lamp. And a bathroom mirror with a crack running through it. But I was exhausted. I locked the door. Dropped into bed. And slept. Until. Knocking. 3 slow knocks. Knock. 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 I opened my eyes. Pitch dark. Phone screen said 2:03 a.m. My blood ran cold. I remembered the old man. Don't open if someone knocks after 2. I stayed still. Then came a woman's voice outside. Soft. Almost crying. Please help me. I didn't move. Then, she whispered right against the door. I know you're awake. Every hair on my body stood up. I grabbed the motel phone to call front desk. Deadline. No dial tone. Then something slid under the door. A photograph. I stared at it for a full minute before touching it. It was a Polaroid of room 9, taken from inside, facing the bed. And in the photo, someone was lying where I was lying. Me, asleep, taken while I was sleeping. I backed away so fast I hit the bathroom door. Then the knocking started again. Harder, faster. Bang, bang, bang. The woman stopped crying and started laughing. A deep laugh. Wrong. Then a man's voice joined hers. Then another. Like multiple people standing outside my door. Whispering, arguing, breathing. I ran to the window. Painted shut. Wouldn't open. I grabbed a chair. And that's when I saw it. In the cracked bathroom mirror. There was someone standing behind me. I spun around. Nothing there. Looked back at the mirror. Still there. A man. Tall. Motionless. Standing beside the bed. Visible only in the mirror. Then, the bathroom light turned on by itself. And from the ceiling vent, A voice whispered, "Room 9 keeps its last tenant." I stumbled backward and smashed into the sink. The bathroom light was on. The man in the mirror, still standing beside the bed, motionless, watching me. But when I turned around, nothing. Empty room. I looked back at the mirror. He was closer, now standing at the foot of the bed. My chest felt crushed. I ran for the door, unlocked it, ripped it open, and the hallway was empty. No woman, no voices, no one, just flickering lights and rain pounding outside. I ran straight to the front desk. The office was dark. No old man, no lights, no one. But the brass bell on the counter was ringing by itself. Ding, ding, ding. I backed away and noticed the motel registry book lying open. One name was written over and over down the page. Mine. Same handwriting, same name, repeated dozens of times. Then I heard a voice behind me. "You left your room." The old man, standing in the office doorway, didn't blink, didn't move, just stared. I yelled about the people outside my door. The photo, the mirror. He listened, then said, "No one knocks at room 9. I said I was leaving. Now. He shook his head. "You can check out at dawn." Then he leaned closer. "But if the other tenant asks to come in, don't let him use your face." I ran. Didn't care anymore. Back to room 9 to grab my keys and go. When I reached the door, it was already open. I knew I shut it. Inside, the room looked wrong. The bed was made. My bag was gone, like I'd never been there. Then I saw the bathroom mirror. No crack. Perfect glass. And reflected in it, the man was sitting on the bed, wearing my clothes. My jacket. My boots. His face. Looked like me. He smiled, then stood up, and walked toward me. Inside the reflection, but in the real room, nothing moved. Then the motel phone rang. Inside the room, I answered without thinking. A woman whispered, "He got the last one by sunrise." The line died. Then the reflection version of me raised one finger, pointed under the bed. Something was breathing under there. Slow, wet, human. I backed out of the room, slammed the door, and that's when I noticed. The brass room number beside the door didn't say 9 anymore. It said, I looked down the row. There was no room 9. There never had been. Just a gap between 8 and 10. And from inside the wall beside me, 3 knocks. Knock, knock, knock. I ran. I don't remember making it back to my car. I only remember gravel under my shoes, rain in my eyes, and hearing knocking follow me down the motel walkway. Knock, knock, knock. I threw the car in reverse and slammed onto the highway. Didn't stop until sunrise. At a truck stop 2 states away. I told myself it was exhaustion, stress, a waking nightmare, anything but real. Then I looked at the passenger seat. The brass key was still there, stamped 9. I threw it out the window, wanted nothing to do with it. 3 weeks passed. I almost convinced myself I imagined everything. Then I got a call. Private number. I answered. Static. Then the old man's voice. Very calm. "You forgot to check out." I dropped the phone. Changed my number that day. But things got worse. Mirrors started changing. Not all the time. Just sometimes. I'd pass a mirror, and my reflection would hesitate half a second too long, or smile after I stopped smiling. Then one night, I woke up at exactly 2:03 a.m. to knocking. Not on the door. From inside the wall. Knock, knock, knock. And a voice whispered through the vent. "Last tenant requests entry." I moved apartments. Different city. Thought I escaped. Until months later, I was in a hotel for work in Phoenix. Checked in. Normal business hotel. Nothing strange. Or so I thought. I got to my room. Set down my bag. Looked at the door. Room number. I laughed nervously. Coincidence. Then I noticed something else. The bathroom mirror had a crack. Same place. Same line. My mouth went dry. I walked to the front desk. Told them I wanted another room. The clerk frowned. Said, "Sir, you're not checked into 209. I said, "Yes, I am." She turned the monitor toward me. My room assignment. 9. There was no first digit. Just 9. I backed away. Ran for the elevator. As the doors shut, I looked down the hallway. A man stood outside my room, wearing my face, holding a brass key, smiling. I quit traveling after that. Thought staying home would help. It didn't. Because last month, I was cleaning out an old jacket. Found something in the pocket. Cold metal. I pulled it out. The brass key. Stamped. I know I threw it away. I know I did. There was also a motel receipt folded beside it. Dated tomorrow. And at the bottom. Check out. 2:03 a.m. I haven't slept since. Because every night now, at exactly 2:03, someone knocks 3 times. And tonight, for the first time, I heard my own voice on the other side of the door say, "I'm ready to switch."